A long time ago, there was this youth that would herd buffaloes, and every day he noticed that there was this she dog that came through running by the land, and it would always end up in a ravine. So one day, this youth decided to follow that dog into the ravine, and he noticed that once that dog got into the waters, it would start shedding its skin off, and a lady would come out of it, a beautiful young lady, and she would start to bathe. After bathing, she would get back into the dog skin and she would run away as well. So he decided to follow that dog that time, and he followed it into to see what house that dog would walk into, would go into, and who was the owner of that house as well. So, and by that, around that time, this boy, his parents were interested in marrying him. So he had set his mind that he would marry a dog. Even though they couldn't believe him and they thought that he was kidding, he started convincing them that he has set his mind and he would want to marry a dog. Once they asked him if he thought what kind of dog he would want to marry, he mentioned exactly the dog that he wanted to marry, and he pointed out the house of the dog he followed the other day. So he ended up going to the owner's house and asking to marry a dog. And the owner, who couldn't believe it as well, he decided to put a price for his dog in order for it to be sold. So after selling it, the boy was able to marry the dog. They had a ceremony in the bride's house, and after the ceremony, the dog was taken into the herd boy's house. So every night, the lady would come out of the dog skin and she would go out. So one time, the herd boy, decided to pretend that he was sleeping. So he was just expecting for for his bride to come out of the dog skin. So he jumped out of bed and he grabbed the dog skin and he threw it into the flames, turning it into ashes. After that, the lady remained as a human. She didn't go back to the dog skin, and they have lived happily ever after. And the whole village learned about this story, and they were happy for him. So because of this, a friend of his named G2, he thought that he could do the exact same thing. So he decided he set his mind to marry a dog as well. No one went against him. No one asked any questions. So they just proceeded with him marrying a dog. The problem was that the dog kept growling at everyone, and he kept trying to escape as they were trying to go through the ceremony. It was actually a catastrophe. He ended up chasing the dog everywhere, and in the end, the dog ended up biting him. So G2 had to give up. So after that, Jiro was so afraid. So he was so ashamed. Everyone was making fun of him. So 2 or 3 days later, G2 killed himself. Thank you.